Hi, welcome back to another video blog. And by the way, thank you for watching. And if you like what you hear and see, and if you have any questions, please make sure you subscribe. The subscribe button is right down below. We want to give you information that helps you, whether looking to buy or sell. And today's topic that we're going to discuss is lender paid closing costs. What it is and what it really does for you. Does it help you? Does it hurt you? And to discuss that, I have with me today Rhett Delaney from Movement Mortgage. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dee.
Thank you. And we're going to discuss about lender paid closing costs. He's going to talk to us in detail about what they are and if that helps you or not. So please go ahead, tell us about it.
All right, so when it comes to lender paid closing costs, it really just depends whether it's going to be beneficial to you or not. When we do lender paid closing costs, it actually is just a percentage of your loan amount given to you as a lender credit. Now, the way we get to those percentages is really based upon the interest rate you choose. So when you are looking at your loan estimate, trying to figure out that cash to close, you can pay for your closing cost completely out of pocket, or if the seller pays for it, even better. But at the end of the day, the lender paid closing costs are really going to be indicative of what interest rate you choose.
So let me understand this clearly, and for my viewers, I hear this advertisement, driving down, and ABC company is going to say, hey, call us, we'll pay all your lender closing cost, or somebody else will advertise that you don't pay closing costs. So is that a smoking mirror? I mean, is the lender actually paying that cost, or is that actually turned around and it goes to the consumer at the end of the day? Could you go in more detail?
Absolutely, Dee. So when it comes to an advertisement saying that they're going to pay all your closing costs, it comes into play where if you have well, it really just depends on how long you're going to be in a home. Short-term lender paid closing costs make sense, because you're going to choose a higher interest rate and get a upfront benefit rather than having a lower interest rate and paying those fees up front and having a long-term benefit. So you really have to ask yourself how long you're going to be in any given house, or how long you're going to own that investment property. I recommend, if you're going to do a house where you're going to be there for maybe 3 to 5 years, lender paid closing costs make sense, because if you choose a higher interest rate and you get the benefit of those lender paid closing costs up front, you're not going to get the benefit of a lower interest rate over the long term. Whereas if you're going to stay in a house for the foreseeable future, maybe 7 to 10 years, you're going to want that lower interest rate, because over the next few years, the cost benefit of having that lender credit up front is going to diminish. So the lower the interest rate over the long term, the more money you'll save. But if you're going to be in a house for the short term, then maybe those lender paid closing costs make sense. But at the end of the day, it all comes from somewhere. It's either you're going to pay for it up front, or you're going to pay for it over the long term.
So what you are saying and what I am understanding is that there is no such thing as free lunch. No. So all people saying, hey, I'm going to pay your closing cost, or I'm going to save you so much money, it's just smoking mirrors at the end of the day?
It's pretty much, it all comes from somewhere. There's no such thing as...
But is it coming from lender?
It's coming from the margin of the interest rate chosen. So for example, say we do an interest rate right now 4.5%, and that's the going rate where you're going to pay all your closing costs up front. Closing costs, people always ask me how much are closing costs. Really depends on the property, but usually anywhere from 2.5% to 3.5% of your purchase price. So if at a 4.5% rate, there's going to be very minimal lender paid closing costs, because we're giving you the best rate that we can without having to charge any fees for it. Whereas if you choose a rate such as maybe 5.5%, you can get upwards of 2% of your loan amount to cover as a lender credit to cover any of those closing costs. So at 5.5% for every $100,000 that you would borrow, we might be able to give you $2,000 or even more, depending on what rates are doing, to help cover those costs. Now, the difference in the payment for that, for every 1% difference in rates of between 4.5% and 5.5%, that's going to basically take away about 10% of your purchase power. So it's a pretty substantial jump as far as your monthly payment's concerned.
Okay.
But if you're going to be in the house for short term, it might make sense to do those lender paid closing costs. But over the long term, a lower rate's going to be much more beneficial.
So here you go, guys. So now that we know the myth is busted, so there is no such thing called lender paid closing cost. At the end of the day, you as a consumer is paying for it. What I have also done is attached a link over there down from Truth in Lending or Truth About Mortgage. Click on it if you want to dig deeper. It goes into the details and it gives you information that your lender may not want you to know. I hope you find this video important. Retweet it, send it to your friends, family who's looking to buy or sell, and I look forward to connect with you this year. Again, D from Keller Williams here in sunny Central Florida, 321-945-7351. 321-945-7351. And thank you, Rhett, for taking the time to let us know. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.